A Hillsborough County judge denied bond for a woman accused of posing as a homeschooled student to have sex with teenage boys. 22-year-old Alyssa Zinger was arrested for the second time last week having sex or sharing explicit images with as many as 5 middle school boys.
In Tampa Bay's Eric Glasser has been covering this story from the beginning, and Eric, the judge called Zinger an ongoing threat.
Yeah.
She danced like she was just another teenage girl. A smile, a pose, a performance. But behind the mask of youth was Alyssa Zinger, a 23-year-old woman who deceived everyone by pretending to be 14. She fooled parents, she convinced young boys, and she danced her way into their lives with carefully crafted lies. This is the chilling story of how social media became a hunting ground. By day, Alyssa Zinger worked at a grocery store bakery in Tampa, Florida. Ordinary, unremarkable. The kind of young woman you'd see frosting cakes or taking orders. But by night, she became someone else. Armed with nothing more than a smartphone, Zinger created an elaborate teenage persona designed to lure young people. She crafted the perfect digital mask, not just fooling the children she targeted, but their families too. January 2023, Alyssa finds her first victim on TikTok. Quickly, she moves their chats to Snapchat, where messages vanish, leaving little trace for parents to see. Police later testified the pair met nearly 30 times, all under the false belief that Alyssa was his peer. But even as that relationship unfolded, Zinger was already looking for her next target. By May 2023, she'd moved on. A second victim, a new deception. This time, she didn't just fool the boy, she fooled his entire family. From May to October 2023, the charade continued. But when that boy ended the relationship, Alyssa's carefully constructed world began to crack. Her response was vengeful. She weaponized the very recordings she had secretly made. She began circulating explicit material, humiliating her victim, dragging in others, and exposing her true intent. But this time, one victim refused to stay silent. October 2023. A teenage girl reports Alyssa Zinger for distributing intimate material. Her courage opened the door to one of Tampa's most disturbing investigations. Detective Amanda Baranowski took the case. But when she searched school records, something didn't add up. There was no 14-year-old girl named Alyssa Zinger, no enrollment, no history. But there was a 22-year-old woman with that name. The investigation revealed a disturbing truth. While engaging one victim, Alyssa was already grooming others. She targeted boys who knew each other. She built networks of trust, then exploited them. Victim testimony painted a chilling picture. She was manipulative, aggressive, threatening. One boy told police she warned him he'd be jumped by high schoolers if he tried to leave. Even in her threats, she stayed in character as a teenager. The psychological profile was damning. An adult woman who had so immersed herself in middle school culture, she could mimic teenage fears, dramas, and emotions with surgical precision. July 2023. Long before her arrest, Alyssa was briefly detained for shoplifting. When questioned by police, she claimed to be 14. Nervous but convincing. When officers ran her name and saw a 22-year-old Alyssa Zinger, she had an answer ready. She lied about being someone else, and the officers believed her. This wasn't improvisation, it was practice. She had rehearsed these moments. November 2023. Police executed their first search warrant at the Zinger home. What the footage captured was telling. Her parents weren't shocked by the accusations. They weren't outraged. They were managing like it was a legal problem to navigate, not a crime. But investigators saw otherwise. When officers asked for Alyssa's phone, her father handed over the wrong device, presenting it as hers. Later, prosecutors argued this was deliberate obstruction. Through it all, Alyssa stayed silent. She let her parents speak, make excuses, shield her. She was comfortable letting others manage the consequences of her actions. When the case reached court, prosecutors laid out the evidence, the false identities, the recordings, the threats, the systematic deception of children. Defense attorneys claimed Alyssa had developmental delays. They argued she was childlike in mind, if not in age. But prosecutors dismantled that argument, showing no record of cognitive impairment. Instead, they revealed her calculated tactics, moving quickly to sexual activity, lying to police, maintaining multiple victims at once. Detective Baranowski testified that investigators were still identifying victims, that more may exist who have not yet come forward. In the end, Judge Ward denied bond. She ruled Alyssa Zinger a danger to the community. For the victims, the fallout was devastating. One boy said his grades collapsed under the stress of Alyssa's control. Another described feeling trapped, unable to escape her constant manipulation. She mimicked not only teenage speech, but teenage drama, the breakups, the outbursts, the reconciliations. Except this wasn't a peer. This was an adult, exploiting children through psychological abuse. Alyssa Zinger thought she could play a role, pretend to be 14, dance her way through social media, hide behind the masks of youth. But when the facade crumbled, the truth was undeniable. She was no teenager, she was a predator. Alyssa Zinger remains behind bars in Hillsborough County, Florida, awaiting trial. Investigators believe there may be more victims. A dance on TikTok became a weapon, and a performance meant to deceive has ended behind bars.